Namaskar. Welcome to baatpachisi. On baatpachisi, we have been discussing various topics, political situation, economic position, and the latest situation after the elections is very, very interesting, and for most of us, very complex in Tamil Nadu. What has happened? A young film star has suddenly emerged as a very, very potent political force. What was the reasons for that? Is it the same trajectory of Tamil Nadu people favoring uh, the cinema stars right from the old days? Or is it something else? And how the people who have been watching Tamil Nadu, who are from Tamil Nadu, have been looking at these developments? So we have with us an old friend and uh, observer of Tamil Nadu politics, cultural situation, an ex-student of Jawaharlal Nehru University, now residing in USA. And right now, he is joining us from Japan. So we welcome Mr. Ram Kumar. Welcome, sir. How are you doing in Japan? How was the situation? And from there in Japan, how do you look at the situations in Tamil Nadu, mostly the political situation? Welcome, sir.
Thank you, Madhav Singh ji. Good to be back talking to you about Tamil Nadu politics, and
Yes, sir.
especially from Japan. This place is so beautiful and quiet and very sedate. Every
Mm,
and it is a good change suddenly to be, faced with this news from Tamil Nadu. It is
mm,
everything is in complete disarray, and
mm,
nobody understands what is going on. You asked me, I think you said, what is my general opinion? What's going on?
yeah.
Nobody in Tamil Nadu, or probably at the center, I don't know, has any understanding of what exactly is going on.
Mm,
Now, this guy Vijay, who was 110 seats, close to half the seats, was a complete shock. Including to Vijay himself. Nobody expected, the all the pundits, respectable pundits, uh, they were all saying that the DMK is more likely than not to come back to power because of the they are holding their alliance intact,
mm,
and nobody expected Vijay to get more than they knew. He was a popular film star, just like Kamal Hassan was, Rajinikanth was, is. Uh, I said they thought, that might translate into. They kept on saying all the youth is with him. Yes, that is true. Younger people, most his main strength was new voters and people under 40. That is a general wisdom. And I
mm,
think statistically also they have shown, they have seen that's what's true. And they said in this urban areas, the youth might vote big for him. So at best, the most optimistic people were saying that he might get 15 to 20% of the votes, mostly in urban areas. But then not only he has gotten close to 34%, much more than the 24 and 25 of the DMK and ADMK, both of which until now had always held on to 30 plus percentages historically in every election. Sometimes one might get 37, other 32. They're always within 3 or 4% of the vote bank. Now, this fellow has got 33, which is completely out of the blue. And if you recall, only two people predicted this. If you call this a prediction, they were called fools or didn't know what. One was the main fellow is a North Indian. I forget his name. Uh,
Pradeep Kumar, Mr. Pradeep,
uh,
Access My India. Access My
exactly,
India.
exactly. And I also thought, what is this guy talking about? Complete nonsense. That's what I also thought. It's what everybody thought. Now he has been so close. He said between 100 and 110 seats. That's
Yeah.
exactly what. That's amazing. And that's and I think he, if I am not mistaken, he said it was done entirely on the phone, not even with actual live interviews on the in the field.
Yeah.
Amazing. I don't know if it's a fluke, but I think he had the same shock prediction which came true in one other election. I don't remember which one in the past. Not West Bengal. He refused to predict.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that, and I saw interestingly, Madhav Singh ji, what is the fellow, Prashant Kishore, right?
Yeah.
Uh,
Pradhan Kishore.
that Bihar guy. He he's smart and all that. I saw after the election his prediction maybe 10 or 15 days ago, not from the beginning, that he also
Mm.
said, you can call me a madman, but take it from me, he is winning 100 plus seats, 100%, 100 plus seats. I don't know how he came up with that. Anyway, these were the only two that I know of had this crazy idea. So everybody else, they didn't expect this. Now, why? Who is he? Firstly, this
Mm.
fellow is, as film stars go, uh, not Rajnikant and Kamala Hassan and all those fellows make political statements and all that. So they had some political ideas, even if they were not very popular. They've been trying to sound political for a long
Yeah.
time, and but this fellow is like, I can, best exact example for North Indians would be like, how about if Jitendra had suddenly become contest election, become the chief minister or prime minister? So he's not a very serious fellow. And in fact, Jitendra would be a very good example, because this guy cannot act either. Just like Jitendra could not act, this fellow cannot act. He just dances. He is known for his. He is always dancing like a monkey, and he's supposed to be a really good dancer. And that is all his. And all his movies are all not serious films. Some, the typical, he'll go. Everybody does, with say something like Ambedkar or something like that. So anybody can say that. It doesn't make
Mm.
much intelligence. But I'm sure he doesn't know whether how many states are in India. I don't think he would know. Maybe now somebody might have told him.
You,
So
you,
that, huh? Sorry, go ahead.
that is, Tamil Nadu being such a literate state, and definitely they have a legacy of film star taking a political role for a very, very long time, becoming chief ministers. I mean, the whole galaxy of stars are there. So this time, when you look at the background, we have talked about the Tamil Nadu situation during last time, few times as well. And you have also pointed out that the huge anti-incumbency against this DMK party because of the gross, mismanagement and the corruption they have been indulging in. So in a way, one can see that this is a reflection of the baseline anti-incumbency, but nobody else benefited. This new fellow, as you said, he's not a very, very big star. Maybe he's popular and he is a novice politically, has been entrusted by the people of 35% vote share for the first time. It's huge. So how do
Yes.
how do you how do you understand? Can you explain this in such a literate state with so much of industries and development and everything? Literature, politics, philosophy, religious, everything. How, and then he's also practicing Christian. Has it contributed to his position in the election?
Now, first, let me answer that Christian thing. I don't know. See, because the people are saying, especially from the BJP side, all my friends, they keep on sending articles about how the church funded him, and how the church wanted him, Catholic, to be the chief minister and so on. I don't know. I'm sure he got some support from the clergy, but I don't. That cannot explain the 35% of the people, the population is not Christian to
Certainly,
start.
certainly.
So,
Hmm.
and also, uh, the percentage of Christians is probably 5 to 6%, if at that much. And
Of course, of course. If all of them, vote for him, and that is
right, so that doesn't make much sense. Even though, even with all the money, you cannot make people vote for you just because you're a Christian. Now, the second part, the other part, more important, you talked about anti-incumbency. No, that cannot explain it, because anti-incumbency, see, historically, every single time since 1967, when the DMK first took power, it's one or the other, just like Kerala. Tweedledum or Tweedledee, they alternate between the two, except when 2016, Jayalalitha, for the first time ever, broke the trend and was re-elected, even though she died very shortly. Now, so if you talk about yes, everything is they're criminally corrupt, they're fascist, and the horrible DMK. Their corruption is unbelievable. I think even by all India standards, it's unbelievable. But Tamil Nadu is probably the most corrupt political system, politician. DMK is the most corrupt political party in India, as far as in my opinion. And so the anti-incumbency, it should have been the ADMK which won. Now, especially they had the alliance with BJP, which didn't matter much in the final analysis. But a new person winning like this now, yes, people now keep saying that everybody is ready to get rid of both parties. That they think the Dravidian ecosystem is itself criminal and corrupt, which is all true, because for the past 50 years, since ever, from the beginning, they are both from the same ecosystem. The DMK, the DMK spawned from the DMK. As Kamraj once said, they all both buffaloes were stagnating in the same dirty pond. So how is going? They don't come out any purer than the other. Now, so that is true. And also one thing which I don't know if you are aware, you may be, the way the DMK, ADMK, even though they changed, the power shifted from one to the other, it is always known, not only because of their common background, but they all subscribe to the same bullshit Periyar thing. The Periyar thing was watered down only because of MGR and then Jayalalitha. Periyar, the anti-Hindu, anti-Brahmin thing were watered down because MGR to some extent was at the helm, and then Jayalalitha. So they kept that part done. But still, they would pay lip service to Periyar. They would pay lip service to so-called Dravidianism and all that. Now, the two parties historically, and even now, in fact, I'll come to that. That is one of the reasons why new government, they're finding it difficult to form a government, Vijay. Both parties, the politicians were so hand in glove with each other that when the DMK came to power, they will file immediately next day, they will file 50 criminal corruption cases against everybody. And nothing will happen. All the cases will do, no action will be taken. They won't file any charges. The same thing will happen when the ADMK comes to power. Now, when the DMK comes to power, the ADMK, what they will do is they will still send the contracts and all the corruption deals, road contracts, housing contracts, and infrastructure contracts, everything. They will give each state, each district secretary will give 20-30% to the opposing party. So you take it, okay, and don't create trouble for me, and vice versa. So they are all part of the same ecosystem, and whoever was in power, the Dravidian political class continued to prosper, and I will say prosper, thrive on corrupt deals and looting the public. So that now, and also that nothing would ever happen to each other, even though power changed hands, because they were all hand in glove all the time. Now, if Vijay forms a government, that will be threatened. Vijay is totally, he didn't pay any money. He didn't give any, he didn't buy any votes. That everybody agrees. He both, yeah, go ahead.
So this is a very, very one thing that now we, I mean, with your help, try to understand
Mm.
the situation and the huge hallagulla about the SIR and the manipulation of the election, alleged manipulation of the elections by, the so many of most of the parties in opposition to Modi, that this has been engineered, our defeat has been, or their victory has been engineered through, the mechanization of election commission and SIR and the booth management and all that goes to the dump. A person who has not paid money, who has not paid, and as you know, and you have been telling me beforehand that all these politicians are habitually, they give large gift to their voters and their main supporters who organize, voters for them. So this fellow with no political background, simply a cinematic, identity, and being a youth, and education wise, leadership comes to anybody. Even the Kamraj you mentioned, he was not educated very well, and so many others, not only in India, in the world over. So he's also only a 12th pass person. That's okay for cinema, and that can okay be even for leadership. But the basic, the narrative being built by the Lutyens media and the, the expert Godi media, how do you, this thing demolishes their main, narrative, that all it has been an unknown person without paying any money, without doing, just on his name or youth or his popularity amongst the certain classes, and also among the youth, gets away with 35% of how that is. That means this election, basically, there may be some minor problems, but if they are not manipulated. What is your view, sir?
No, I agree with you 100%. This completely puts the lie to all these stupid excuses that it is AVM, EVM fixing, EVM hacking, and SIR, and all this. None of that is. And even though, let's get back to 1 minute for Vijay, is
Hmm.
not one in a long line of film personalities who came to power. He's completely different in the sense, like I told you, he
Hmm.
has no political background. MGR, Jayalalitha, they
They
all,
had, they had, they had.
yeah, they all had the long years they spent in politics, and
Hmm.
they came to earn, even though their cine popularity played a very large part, probably 75% of their vote getting capacity. But they are also, the people also saw them as political leaders in their own right,
Hmm.
and they also proved to be that. Now this fellow has nothing. Like I told you, he's at best. How would you think Jitendra was a smart guy? Nobody would think that. He dances well. He goofs around. Yes, that is all. That is all this fellow has done. Now, why have they voted for him? The anti-incumbency, uh, yes, to some extent that is true. They don't not anti-incumbency against just the DMK, against the Dravidian system itself, the anti-Dravidian system, because they all 50 years they have seen that these fellows are all the same. One might be slightly better, that is true. They are the same corrupt system, the same corrupt background. Now that explains part of it. And then his cine popularity, his name recognition, that is there. But these would account, with that is why people gave him 15-20% the vote share, they thought, and he might get 5 seats or 6 seats in the state. Now there is no explanation that anybody has on how exactly 35% of the people voted for him. Because 35% people, do you really believe people who have been voting for the DMK and Dravidian system for the 50 years, suddenly they realized that they've become sensible, and they took all the money was taken from both parties and they still voted for him? That's a good thing. We know, we are glad they did, but there is no explanation as such why they chose him, because they all could not have become sensible people suddenly after 50 years. If they have, it's amazing. So now so there is no explanation. Like I said in the beginning, nobody really has an explanation to say this is how he got 35%. People say this played a role, that played a role. Yes, and incumbency played a role. The sick of the Dravidian system played a role. Somebody young, different played a role. But Rajini could have done it, but that fellow lacked the guts. He never took the if he had joined what is this Vijay. I was thinking before that if only Rajini says we should elect Vijay, he would have won 150 seats because Rajini's name still carries weight. And if fortunately the Congress did not join him earlier. Now, because then they would have got 40, 50 seats, or I think he offered the Congress 75 seats. Like fools, they refused and said that they so I'm glad they got completely wiped out. Now, so there is no explanation because he was breaking the like if you remember Madhav Singh ji, N.T. Ramarao. N.T. Ramarao was somewhat like Vijay, but N.T. Ramarao had a huge fan following. He'd been an actor, very popular, as popular in India for a long time. But no, he had no background in politics. In fact,
mythological characters he used to anti-Rama.
Correct. You're exactly. He always used to play Krishna and Vishnu and all that.
Yeah.
He actually, when I was young, when I think of Krishna, I would think of N.T. Ramarao only because he always plays. And in that high school I studied, when we came out during interval and all that, his house was next to the school. And he was a very good-looking, fair, good-looking guy. He'd always been, and interval we would come out, and outside he had a big house. He'd come outside the gate, and there will be 10 buses, Andhra buses, with all people shaved head. They'll go to Tirupati, then they'll come and worship to N.T. Ramarao, and then go home.
Okay.
He would come out as if he was Lord Krishna, and they all would prostrate before him and shout some slogans and all that. So he had that popularity. This fellow was not like that. He was a good actor. His films make good money, but so he was not an N.T. Ramarao. But if you remember, he you remember the background how he became chief minister. Yeah. So he did not get into, but suddenly, because Rajiv Gandhi insulted the then chief minister, I forget his name, on the airport.
Anjaya.
Correct, exactly. Yeah. Something the airport, Rajiv Gandhi ignored him or something like that. He was chief minister. So N.T. Ramarao and Telugus were so insulted. He said, I'm going to start a party. I'm sick of Delhi insulting Telugus. And he named it Telugu Desam. So